What's the trigger for NIIT? Because that stock has soared 57% in the last 5 days itself. Let's try and decode that with Mr. Vijay Thadani, the Vice Chairman and MD at NIIT. Vijay, hi, thanks so much for making time and speaking with us. That's exactly the first question. What explains the 57% rise in the stock price over 1 week? Any fire to the smoke?
I think you should find out from the marketplace, because I'm sure we did not participate in that activity. I think we are conducting our business, so I have nothing to say as far as that is concerned. I think what I can talk about is the business and the business outlook, and that also I'll talk to you on the medium to long term basis, given the fact that we are in a silent period.
But let's talk about business then. The Q1 volumes were impacted on account of the temporary freeze in hiring that we have seen in IT sector. And for the rest of the year, the prospect also doesn't look very strong because the companies are talking about how headcount growth is going to be muted. What's been your reading on ground of the IT hiring?
Yeah. So first of all, our business goes beyond IT. And therefore, we also are strong participants in the BFSI, especially the banking and financial services, and now increasingly in the insurance segment also. So the IT sector, as you know, we service two clients of people: the early careers as well as the working professionals. The early careers hiring freeze and delayed hiring is on record and is available to everybody. I think there is a bit of loosening up which is beginning to happen there. Maybe not as much with large global systems integrators, but more with the tier 2 system integrators, as well as the global capability and competency centers. So there is a small movement that we are noticing in this quarter. We do believe this momentum will pick up. However, the larger thing which will influence growth in the coming quarters would also be the reskilling and upskilling of existing workforce. As you know, in technology, 5.5 million people are there, with technology coming to us at a faster rate than ever before. People have to upskill themselves as well as reskill themselves depending on what they are doing. I think that is a momentum that we are beginning to take advantage of. And the whole generative AI, I think, is generating a lot of interest in corporates to see how they can improve their competitive position. The third thing is there are some sectors which are looking up, like manufacturing, design, engineering, R&D, and this is based on all that is happening as far as the growth of manufacturing in the country and government policies in that direction. So this is the technology. On the banking, financial services, and insurance, I think there is a large momentum building up because there is an increased hiring as well as increased skilling of the workforce, which we are noticing. And I think we are getting an advantage of that as well. We did have two very bad quarters. And I think in quarter one, despite very low hiring taking place in the quarter, we did manage to grow quarter on quarter, though by a small percentage. I think we have a larger possibility in the coming 3 quarters. And I think in this year, we stand firm on the guidance that we had given earlier. Of course, many things can change as we go along, but given wherever we are, I think at this point of time, we feel good about the guidance that we had given. So this summarizes for you.
Yes, it does, and very, very clearly, actually, Mr. Thadani. Thanks, for being so candid with that. So, since you are, seeing an uptick both in banks as well as IT, could you give us some color, say, a split of incremental business, banks versus IT? What's doing better?
Okay, I would have said that in last quarter there was a trend which we were noticing that the banking financial services will do slightly better. And I think that is what we are noticing as we go along, because at this point of time, banks have to spread themselves out all over the country, and therefore they need a large workforce. We have many more requirements, and we have increased the number of customers and banks that we are dealing with. I think we are now beginning to deal with the most of the large private sector banks, and the larger the better for us, because it gives us an opportunity to play a bigger role. And to that extent, I think this quarter, next 2 quarters, perhaps we would see a larger push in that direction. Technology, as I said, global capability centers, as well as the tier, the second 5 or the next 10 technology global systems integrators are beginning to show some momentum in terms of upskilling, reskilling, as well as also a little bit of fresher hiring.
Capability centers, etc. But I'm sure, Mr. Thadani, you're also looking to clearly leverage all of this new age technology. So what about the increased trainings and courses around AI, digital, etc.? And, what is the outlook as well in terms of how realizations and pricing is panning out? How exactly is that trending?
Okay. So that's a very good question. I think AI has a very huge role to play in determining the competitiveness of every business. Every business, despite the fact whether you are technology or BFSI or whatever sector you are. So we are getting large requirements from people who want to understand how AI can help them. Given our large global exposure, where we work with multinational companies across the world, I think that experience is coming in very useful. And we are therefore able to give them use cases as well as methods which people have used to induct. So for example, one tendency or one trend that we are seeing is that of citizen developers. Citizen developers are saying we will not wait for our IT workforce to help us out, but as users, as business managers, we would like to start using AI or start building small things and small experiments with AI. So stuff like these trends are actually very, very positive for us. And the good news is, since it's a novelty value, there are less number of people who are able to offer this kind of a thing. I think we are able to get deliver higher value to our customers and therefore get better fee structure as well. So AI is definitely that, but AI has a larger role to play in determining how we conduct our education itself. So you would see NIIT now offering AI in just about everything that we do, and AI will start playing a role in the way we deliver education, as well as we include it in the content of the program, as well as helping the corporates implement their applications. So I think AI does have a very important role to play.
Mr. Thadani, just wanted to get that clarity. You said you stand firm on your guidance. Was that guidance the 8 to 10% growth for the year with a mid-teen kind of, mid-single-digit kind of margin?
No, I think we had guided that we are looking at a single-digit growth, 5 to 6%. In the beginning of the year, we could have been much more stronger, but given the first quarter and the way it went, we had guided for a 5 to 6% growth and a break-even and a small single-digit margin. And that's what we are firm on.
Break-even and small single-digit margin. Any more acquisition lined up? Because RPS is something you've been able to digest well. What about anything else in the pipeline?
We are always in discussion and looking for opportunities, and would share with you at the first available opportunity that we can.
All right. We look forward to that. Good to have you on board. Thanks much for taking time out and joining in.